She also stands out with a very unique coloration, the result having a white dad and an orange mother, so Cedar has turned out somewhere in between. Now at 17 years of age, we do let Cedar pick and choose what behaviour she takes part in, so don't be surprised if she's not terribly active. Now over on my left-hand side with Pat is Pie. Pie's a 5-year-old born at another zoo who travelled here to Dreamworld when he was quite young. As a result, Pie's been taking part in our presentations now for a few years, and he's definitely one to keep your eyes on. Very energetic and food motivated. My right-hand side with Keith is one of our youngsters, and his name is Baru. Despite being only 3, he's the biggest tiger on display, weighing 165 kilos. Baru, not so energetic. In fact, he can be quite a lazy little tiger from time to time, but on a day like today, I think Keith's going to get him involved and hopefully see lots of activity from Baru as well. But guys, now that we've met all the stars of our presentation, let's start it off with a big round of applause to welcome them along. Come on guys, that's the way. That's Baru, Pie, Sita, and of course the handlers as well. Now like I said, your support very important throughout the show, so if you see something that you like, make sure you make lots of noise. The first group of behaviours we'd like to demonstrate all involve full cream milk as a reward. The first one, a very simple one to start things off, and it's what we like to call a sit-up. Pie straight into it, Brew as well. Let's give the youngsters a big round of applause. Looks like Sita's going to play a little bit of hardball. She doesn't really want to get involved, she just wants to do the easy stuff. Now we call this one a sit-up. As you can see, it's a very cute behaviour, but it's also quite a natural one. Now from that position, a tiger gains a distinct height advantage. It enables them to spot their prey at long distances whilst remaining undetected by the cover of tall grass. If you didn't know, tigers are solitary and territorial animals, so in order for them to communicate with other tigers, they will leave scent markings all throughout the territory. Sitting up, as they're demonstrating, they could access scent markings that would ordinarily be out of reach on all fours. Very good indication of their size. Sitting up like that, they stand just about as tall as us. Be aware, they can stretch out a little bit further, and to demonstrate, we'll move the tigers into our next behaviour that we call a rise. Now Cedar's straight up there. I'm assuming Blue's up there because he gets straight into this one as well. And Pat's going to put Pie up against the tree for this behaviour because that's where you would normally see a tiger performing it. Now we call it a fight stance, and like I said, something you'd normally see against the side of a tree. A rise, something you'd normally see against the side of a tree. Stretching out in order to gain scent markings or access to scent markings left by other tigers. It's also a fantastic way to leave some territorial markings behind. Pie stretching out now. As you can see, he's right up against a tree. He can scratch at the tree with his powerful claws and leave some visual markings, and also leave some scent marking behind as well by rubbing himself all over the trunk of the tree. It's a very good indication of the tiger's size and also the handler's strength, but be aware they are capable of holding themselves up in this position without too much help at all. And to demonstrate, we're going to move them into our next behaviour that we call a fight stance. Cedar's going to get right up there. Let's give her a big round of applause. She's winning today. We'll get Brew up there as well. He's pretty good at this one. And Pie, he's taking his time as per usual. Now we call it a fight stance because that's a position that tigers will adopt when they fight or do battle. The idea is, as you can see with Brew, soon to see with Pie, is it frees up those front paws. It allows them to strike out at their opponent, and the objective is to knock them to the ground. Then inflict a killing bite using your very powerful canine teeth. Now in my hand, a replica of a tiger's canine tooth, and as you can see, it is very big. It's about 14 centimetres from the root right down to the tip of the tooth. Like I said though, it's just a replica, and what we'd like to demonstrate of course is the real deal. The helpful hand from Keith and myself. You'll notice how to do his best to show off Pie's pearly whites. He doesn't really like our hands in his mouth. What you'll notice, half of the canine tooth is exposed, the other half is embedded deep into the tiger's skull to provide a nice firm grip. What you probably can't see is that this exposed portion of tooth has a number of grooves that run right down its length. Now the grooves allow air to travel between the tooth and the flesh of the tiger's prey, making it easy for them to readjust their grip. Now without grooves in their teeth, it's likely that tigers might just become stuck in whatever they bite because of the vacuum effect they will create with those very powerful jaws. But guys, that's it for our milk behaviours. All 3 of the cats getting involved. Let's give them a little round of applause for a nice start to the show. What we're going to do though is start to step things up, and to do this it's very simple. We just introduce pieces of meat as rewards. Now by increasing our tigers' rewards, we in turn increase their motivation, and it allows us to show you a few more spectacular behaviours. Now the first of these is a jumping behaviour. We're aware tigers are capable of jumping distances of about 6 metres. Now the length between our platforms is only 3 metres, and today Pie should make some short work of these jumps. He has been a little bit lazy as of late. Who could blame him in this warm weather? He'll still get across no problems. Now Pat's not finished, he's going to bring him back and forward a few times, and while he's doing this, check out Pie's tail. Now not only will he use his powerful tail to maintain balance and stability, but also to generate momentum. To do that, he flicks that tail of his directly over his back when he jumps. The added weight thrown forward, be it only a couple of kilos, make jumps like these a little bit easier for a big tiger like Pie. One more time across, and I think we'll try for a bit of a jump from Pie. He generally comes off with a bit of gusto. Let's see if we can utilise that momentum and get a bit of a leap off the ground. It hasn't worked out so great in this warm weather, but we'll give it a go anyways. Let's see how he goes. Onto the ground. Come on, Pie. Big jump in the air. Almost. Let's give him a big round of applause. That's not too bad. Now Kent's got Brew up here as well. Shortcut over logs onto the platforms and easily across. Now Brew's got a bit of a different jumping technique to Pie. Now Pie does rely on momentum usually. Brute strength. Now he puts all four of his paws on the edge of the platform and uses his strength to get from one to the other. I think we might finish off there and try for a couple more times across, and we'll try for a little bit of a jump out of Brew. It doesn't really work though, as you probably might have guessed. Brew's not our most jumpiest tiger. But let's give him a big round of applause. A couple of good platform jumps. Alright guys, what we're going to do now is just slow things down a bit and show you alert behaviours. So far you've seen a lot of natural behaviours that tigers will use for their survival in the wild. Now this next one, we train the tigers to make our lives a little bit easier. Pat's got some markboards in his hand, those bright green coloured pieces of wood. When we place them on the ground, you can see what our tigers do. They walk over and place their front feet on them. Very simple form of training, one that all the cats are happy to be involved in, even Cedar and Baru, and that's because it requires very little effort in return for some food rewards. Now it proves very useful if we want to perform veterinary or husbandry checks on the tigers. The catch, of course, is that a vet doesn't really have the same relationship with the cats that we obviously do. So by incorporating mark training, helps keep our tigers focused elsewhere and our vet can move in. Now it also proves to be very helpful when the tigers are involved in film and television work. Now typically, in those situations, they can be exposed to a number of distractions they may never have experienced before. By incorporating mark training, helps keep our tigers comfortable and under our control when they are in those new environments. During filming, if we need to move tigers from one point to another, we can do so by placing 2 or more marks on the ground. Now with a slight cue, the tigers will move from point A to B or from mark to mark, just like we're demonstrating at the moment. The main reason we have our tigers involved in film and television work is simply so we can generate money for the Dreamworld Wildlife Foundation. If you didn't know, just over 100 years ago there was an estimated 100,000 tigers living throughout the wild. You might be surprised to find that in 100 years we've managed to wipe out a staggering 96% of the tiger's wild population. Today, less than 4,000 tigers remain. Now those remaining tigers we're still losing between 1 to 5 each day, mainly due to habitat loss and destruction, but unfortunately also a result of poaching. Through our program we support a number of organisations that work in the field throughout Asia, not only supplying information the tiger's body parts are of no medicinal benefit, but of course of the need to conserve the natural habitat. Now as you can imagine, it's work we're very proud of and work that some of you may also like to help us with, and you certainly can. Now if you spin around and have a look at the wall leading up to the Bengal Tea House, you notice beside the stairs a very large sign that says "Extinction is Forever." Beside the sign, a donation box. There's another one inside the shop, and through them we invite you to make a contribution to our program. Doesn't matter how large or small it is, even if it's 5 cents, we'll guarantee you that your 5 cents will go directly to tiger conservation. There are no administrative charges deducted from those donations. So a great way to help, and like I said, something we're very proud of. Something else we are quite devoted to is showing all of our guests amazing natural tiger behaviours. And folks, with that in mind, who out there wants to see Pie climb a tree? One person, thank you. Yep. Alright guys, we might try that again. Who wants to see a tiger climb a tree? That's the way. Fantastic stuff. Alright guys, most of the information that we found in regards to tigers and tree climbing tells us that they aren't really renowned for this behaviour. Now it's believed tigers like Pie over here, despite being a little bit warm and lazy, are simply too big to support their weight using only their claws. Well today we're going to show that tigers can climb trees and also demonstrate. Pie over here happens to be pretty good at it. Check him out, he won't muck around. Get to the top of the pole, or about 2/3 up in about 3 or 4 strides. Now he does do this a little bit, plays a bit of chicken. The idea is, obviously that chicken does fall down on its own from time to time. Let's give him a big round of applause. That's a great tree climb there from Pie. Now, he's one of their best climbers, and not so much for the ease in which he goes up, it's for the clever way in which he comes back down, as opposed to just jumping off. Pi actually shimmies down to a really, really safe height, and then finally lets go. A little bit more, Pi. There he goes. Let's give him a big round of applause again. Another good tree climb there from Pi, and always reminding us, if you ever get chased by tigers, don't climb a tree. Now guys, you have been a fantastic crowd this afternoon, and we've got one more behaviour for you before you go. Now earlier, saw some great jumps in particular from these two youngsters across our logs and platforms. What we'd like to do, step things up, and we're going to try to launch them both high into the air for their favourite treats. Now in Pi's case, he does it all for another piece of chook, and Brew does it for a cardboard box. Now for this to be a success, require your participation one last time to coordinate the jump. Now I'm going to count to 3. When I count to 3, I want everyone out there to yell the word jump as loud as you possibly can. Now we are going to have rehearsal, guys, so voices ready. 1, 2, 3. Jump! Excellent. We should see a great jump with that amount of noise. Now Brew and Pi both in position. As you can see, we put them on the ground a nice distance back from the logs to build momentum. And we do manage their criteria by placing their treats on the end of a pole. Now they're looking ready to go, so voices ready, guys. 1, 2, 3. Jump! Up goes Pi and Brew. Let's give them both a big round of applause. Keep your cameras on the tigers. We do like to throw around a few extra treats just to let them know that they've done a great job. But we'd also like to thank you for all the help that you've given as well. Now, unfortunately, guys, that's it for our final tiger presentation. Please, when you go, don't forget about our donation box, but ensure you have a great day here at Dreamworld, and bye for now.